Hi everybody, welcome to Glenn's Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing a regional specialty, and I guess I consider it a regional specialty here in Pennsylvania. I think it derives from the Pennsylvania Dutch, but some people in Maine might disagree with that. They think that they have claim to fame of this. So today we're going to be making whoopie pies. Whether you're from Maine or Pennsylvania or anywhere in between, these are really good treats. Chocolate cakes stuffed with a marshmallow type frosting and inside, and we'll get started with the dry ingredients. Okay, before we start the thing, for my Facebook friends out there, I put the link to my YouTube videos on Facebook. So if you can go over there and subscribe, that would be great. And it's under Glenn's Gourmet Eats, and the reason I chose that name is obviously Glenn. And Gourmet Eats is after my two favorite chefs that inspired me the most. The first one is the Frugal Gourmet, Jeff Smith, and I know he's had some allegations in the past, but I can't deny all the things he taught me growing up when I was first watching him on television back in the late 70s, early 80s. The history he brought to food, that's what I really did, because I'm a history buff myself. And then recently, I guess back early 90s, is the Alton Brown and Good Eats. And so you got Gourmet Eats. And Alton, and the way his scientific approach to foods and the history behind it as well. He's another one that really inspired me, so that's why I call my YouTube channel Glenn's Good Eats. Okay, let's get on to the dry ingredients with the whoopie pie. Okay, we're going to want 2 cups of flour. And I'm never prepared, am I? But it doesn't matter, we get to the main thing. All right, so I have my flour here in a canister, and I'm going to scoop out 2 cups of this. 1. We're going to do this in 2 parts. We're going to make the cake part first, and then the center filling. So we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Get the lid back on that. We want 1/2 cup of Dutch processed cocoa. Dutch processed cocoa is different than the regular cocoa you see. It's just a richer flavor. But if you can't find Dutch processed cocoa, you should be able to at your local supermarket. You can get the regular cocoa, the Hershey's cocoa. That's fine. But the Dutch processed cocoa, actually, let me show you here, because I have the Hershey's and I can show you the difference. Okay, here we go. This is the Hershey's cocoa, and I'm just going to bring that up, and you can see how light in color that is. And then we'll bring up the, put this over here, Dutch processed, and you can see the difference there. Much richer, and that's a much intense flavor there. And this is where you really want it if you can get it. So you want 1/2 cup of that in there. And I'm just going to move my lid over here. Cap that. And we want 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'll get my teaspoon out. And once again, I keep my baking soda in a jar. It's just easier to get out, and I think it stays fresher for a little longer if it's in a jar like this. So 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, not baking powder, baking soda. Or I said 1/2, I meant 1 teaspoon. Okay, put the lid on that. And we want 1/2 tablespoon, I keep getting these spoons with 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. So I'm just going to pour 1/2 teaspoon of table salt. And let's get that out. And for all my recipes, I use sea salt. I don't know, I just think it has a better flavor, but probably doesn't make a difference in the long run. So 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And the last thing I need, that's it for now. So this is our dry ingredients. So I'm going to give this a quick whisk and get these all incorporated in here. And we'll come back and we'll start with the wet ingredients. Okay, as you can see, I got my handy dandy mix master out here, my KitchenAid. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to bring it a little closer so you can see inside here, is I have 1 stick of butter that's been softened, and I'm just going to drop that in there, and we're just going to beat that till it gets a little creamy. And to this, looks like it's getting creamy now. I'm just packing 1 cup of light brown sugar down. And whenever you're measuring brown sugar, always pack it, unless the recipe specifically says don't. But you want it packed. So that's what that looks like. That's light brown sugar. I'm going to turn this up to get that butter off there. And I'm going to open this up. And we're going to pour that 1 cup of light brown sugar. And where do I want to go with this? There we go. Don't want to get it all over the place. And we're going to beat this till it's creamy. We're going to go about 4 minutes on this, so we'll come back in 4 minutes. Okay, we have about a minute left. I'm just going to shut this off and scrape down the sides. I did it once before, but I'm just going to give it a last scraping here, just to make sure all that butter and brown sugar is incorporated. And we'll just let this go for just a tiny bit more. And then we'll add our other wet ingredients. Okay, we got 10 seconds to go here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and launch. Okay, we're going to clear that. And I'm going to add to that 1 egg. And once that egg is fully incorporated, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Good. Okay, here I have my shield. I'm just going to attach that so our ingredients don't get, dry ingredients that we add here don't get all over the place. Okay, so here's our dry ingredients that we put together, the chocolate and flour. And I also have 1 cup of buttermilk. And buttermilk is a little sour. We're going to add a little tang to it. So we're going to add about 1/3 of this flour mixture, if I can find a cup here, into this. A little bit more. And then we're going to add half the buttermilk. So we have a full cup, so we're going to get down to 1/2 cup. of buttermilk. You don't have to be exact, but close. Okay? Then we're going to add another third of the dry ingredients. Okay, remaining buttermilk. And let that mix a little bit. And we're going to add the rest of our dry ingredients. You're putting it into a mixer. Take your time putting it in. Don't try to shove it all in at once. Otherwise, with this, you're going to have a chocolate rolls, and you don't want to do that. There we go. Just going to put this aside. And I'm going to shut the mixer off, and I'm going to give it a scrape down. And we're going to... It's a very wet dough. It's kind of hard to work with, but there's kind of some tricks to it that we'll get to. Let's get the rest of this off here as much as we can. All right, let me give it one last mix here. Good. And once again, we'll scrape it down fully so we get all this off the spatula here. Whoa, I got it on my arm. Get in between here. Okay, I'm gonna take this off and scrape a little bit more. And then somebody in the family might like this off, so I'll put that aside. And I'm going to give it one last scrape, going around the corners here, just with a rubber spatula. Just want to make sure everything's incorporated. Okay, we're good. So we'll come back after I set up to put these on. Okay, I have my oven heating to 350 degrees at this point, and I have my rack set, one on the upper middle position and one on the lower middle position. You'll see what we do with that later. But right now I have two two cookie sheets that are lined with parchment paper. Now parchment paper is this Reynolds Kitchen. Usually comes in a roll, and you pull it out and you cut it to size. And a lot of times, because it's been rolled, it crinkles up and it doesn't stay flat. I found these flat ones that just come out, so they're much better. They're Reynolds Kitchen. Let's see if I can get it. Pre-cut sheets. Yeah, so it makes it easier. So I have a 1/3 cup measuring cup here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take 1/3 cup and we're going to make 6 on each sheet. So I'm going to just spray this down with a little bit of Pam, just so we can get it out a little bit easier. Okay, let's get to it. So again, I have my batter here, and I'm just going to scoop this in and come out with 1/3 cup. And I'm going to take my measuring cup. Okay, I'm going to use this spatula here, and we're just going to kind of go around the edges and get the whole thing. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. And we're just going to lay this, where can you see it, right here. And I'm just going to put this down here. And they're going to look like balls, like little lumps, but they'll flatten out. So let me make one more, and then I'll do the rest on my own. And no need for you to watch me do 8 of these, or 12 of these I should say, because they're going to make 6 all together, and it's going to be two-sided, one on each side and the frosting in the middle. So put that down, and we'll come over here and just lay that down. And I'll show you when we come back and we haven't finished. Okay, we got these all panned up. Got 6 on each sheet, and they're about 1/3 of a cup each. And as you can see them, they're just mounded up. They're gonna kind of flatten out as they bake. We're gonna put these in the oven, 350 degrees. I'm gonna have one rack on the lower middle and one rack on the upper. So we're gonna put them between 15 and 18 minutes, but in about 7 or 8 minutes, I'm gonna rotate the ones from the top to the bottom and turning them as well. So we'll come back and see what they look like when they're finished. Okay, these are just about ready to come out. So let me get my pot holders and we'll take a look at them. Oh, they look good. So there's the first set, and there's the second set. Okay, now these have to cool for at least 30 minutes before we put the topping on. So let's start with the topping, the filling in the center. Okay, we're back here with the KitchenAid, and what I have here is 12 tablespoons of softened butter. Again, we're making the filling right now. And let's put that in there. And this is 12 tablespoons, so it's a stick and a half of butter. And let me get my paddle. And again, we're just gonna whip this butter up till it's a little bit fluffy. I'm gonna reach across here, and sorry. There we go. And to this, we're going to add 1 1/4 cup of confectionery sugar. Confectionery sugar is also called powdered sugar. So it's going to Now again, this be on your lowest setting. You don't want this to go all over the place. And it's very slow. This will make a snowstorm in the kitchen if you have it on high speed. Okay, there's 1 cup. And 1/4 cup we need, so that makes 1 1/4 cup. There we go. And we'll let that go till it becomes a little fluffier. And then now I can turn the heat a little higher. Let's give this a good scrape down here. Make sure it's all incorporated here. Get all that off the paddle here. Okay. And we'll go just a little bit more. And to this, we're going to add 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So here's my 1 teaspoon. And here's my 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. We'll let that go and incorporate for a little bit. And to this we want to add 1/8 teaspoon of table salt. 1/8 is really just a pinch. Let me make sure I got the right measuring tool here. 1/8. That's not 1/8. This is 1/8. Smallest one. We're going to add 1/8 teaspoon of salt to that. Okay, now the special ingredient, the one we all know, fluff. This canister is 18 ounces and we need 2.5 cups. On the back here it says this contains 5 cups. So for 2.5 cups, I needed half this thing, so I measured out 8 ounces. 16, this is 16 ounces, so I needed half, which is 8 ounces. And I have it already here in a bowl, so I'm just gonna lift that up, and I have that here, and I'm just going to add that. I'm going to actually take this out for a second, just so I can scrape this in here. And we'll put that here. And this stuff's sticky, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Otherwise, it'll get all over my machine, and I'll be cleaning all night, and I really don't want to do that. I don't want to be scraping off fluff off Mixmaster. I try to keep my kitchen equipment clean. Almost there. Man, this stuff really gets sticky. You know, you've seen it before. Alright, let's scrape this into there. And we'll bring back our mixer. And my hands are all sticky now too. Look at that. So put that down, lock it, and we're gonna mix this up really good. I'm gonna scrape this down in a second. Make sure we get all that fluff in there. Okay. Because it's all up here still. Get that on the batter here. Good. And then we'll get the sides down here. I think we're good. Let's go. Mix it up, and I think we'll be done. Okay, I'm just gonna let this sit in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes while the cakes are cooling, and they should be done about pretty much the same time, give or take. So we'll come back and we'll assemble the cakes. Okay, now we're ready to go and assemble these things. So what we're gonna do is I have my fluff mixture here, and I have our cakes here, and just going to bring you over here a little bit so you can see. I'm just going to remove these cakes from the can and show what they look like on the bottom. And we're just turning them over on these parchment papers here. And I got the second can here, and I'm turning these over. Okay, So let's see here. Let's try to match these up so they're similar sizes here. That's what you want to kind of do. Here, this. I think we got them. Wow, pretty good. This one a little bit. All right, I think we're good. So I put this one aside. And once again, we're going to use a 1/3 cup. I'm going to bring these down here and bring you down here. There we go. And get one of these out. So about 1/3 cup. And just open that one up. And we'll fill this with 1/3 cup. Okay. We'll open this one up. And 1/3 cup. And I'll finish filling the rest of these, and we'll come back and we'll top them off. Okay. One kind of slipped out, but that's all right. We fixed it up. So what I'm going to do is take the top, and I'm going to just push it over, and I'm just going to press down to the filling kind of comes to the edge. So this one here, kind of push down to the filling comes in. This is the one that kind of fell, and I'm going to make sure I fix it here. I think we got it. Yeah, it's a little sloppy, but that's all right. These are kind of messy anyway. Right on top, press down. Right on top, press down. You want to press firm, but not too firm. Just to the cream. You don't want to break that thing. And there we go. A nice whoopie pie from Pennsylvania, Dutch country. Not Maine. Don't tell people in Maine I said that. All right, if you have any questions, please post them and I'll be glad to answer. If you'll try the recipes and you like them, let me know.